The story of Gun-Marie Fredriksson and the band Roxette has become an example of courage, struggle and determination, even in the face of adversity, but with the immense desire to live and continue doing what she loved most, bringing joy to people with their timeless classics, deeply touching many passionate hearts and lovers of good music. Because it never ends, staying eternally stored until the end of our lives, or rather the final point of our story.
Hello, welcome to the channel. Let's dive together into this journey, reliving great classics from the past that will be eternal in our lives.
Gun-Marie Fredriksson was born in a small town in the province of Scania, Sweden, on May 30, 1958. Coincidentally, she was born in the same year as other famous artists such as Prince Rogers Nelson, Andrea Bocelli, Madonna, and Michael Jackson, which may have foretold her future success. Her parents, Charles Gustaf Fredriksson and Inez Dagmar Fredriksson, had 3 daughters besides the future singer, Annalisa, Ulla-Britt, Tina, and a son, Sven Arno. As the youngest, Marie was always taken care of by her siblings while her parents worked on a farm to support the family. Unfortunately, due to the poor economic situation, the family had to sell the farm when Marie was only 4 years old. They moved to another city, where her father started working as a postman and her mother began working in a factory. During her life, Marie faced many difficult tests, and the first one happened in 1965 when she was only 7 years old and her sister Annalisa died in a tragic car accident just days before her wedding. This tragedy left a strong mark on all members of the family, and Marie kept this memory as the first sad memory of her life. Music became a refuge for her, driven by her father who encouraged her to form a group called Renat, with some schoolmates. In this group, they lip-synced songs from famous bands such as the Beatles and Rolling Stones, using fake instruments. This hobby also helped Marie escape the bullying she suffered from other students at her elementary school. Her older siblings were also singers, and thanks to them, Marie started practicing her voice and learned to play various instruments. They also bought records and listened to the most famous groups of the moment, which further increased Marie's interest in music. Around the age of 17, Marie obtained her first single record, containing the song Valerie by the Monkees. She enrolled in the Estalov Music School, where her enormous vocal talent and composing skills were quickly evident. In fact, while still very young, she wrote an incredible musical that she managed to present in several Swedish cities, receiving very favorable reviews that predicted a bright future in music. This also allowed her to achieve some financial independence and become independent of her parents. In 1978, at the age of 20 and with hair styled after her idol David Bowie, she formed, together with her boyfriend Stefan Dernbrand, her first formal music group, a punk band called Stroll, in English, Hassle. They tried to sign with several record labels, but without success. Despite the breakup with Stefan, Marie continued with the band, incorporating new members. They managed to record a single in 1981, but the band ended up dissolving definitively. Marie joined forces again with guitarist Martin Stjernhufvud and formed a new band called Mama's Barn. Interestingly, the name of the band was created by combining the first letters of their own names. What do you think of the name of the band? If you liked it, comment on the boys' creativity. Although they managed to record an album for CBS, sales were practically non-existent and the band quickly dissolved. During the early 80s, Marie was part of and collaborated with different groups, mostly rock bands, with whom she toured all over Sweden. In 1981, her father Charles, who was an alcoholic and subjected his wife and children to much abuse, died of a heart attack. Despite this, he was a great music lover, played the violin, sang very well, and even rented a piano for his children to practice and encouraged the love of music in his youngest daughter Marie, who would become a legend in the world of music in the future. In May 1984, Marie released her first song as a solo artist and shortly after her first album, titled Het Vind. The good reviews received by the album led Marie to work hard on her second solo album, released in early 1986. These works made Marie a very recognized and admired singer in Sweden at that time. Per Gessle, musician and composer who had already had great success with the Chilean band Jolene Tider, and as a composer of successful themes for other groups, recommended that Marie join him. Although she wasn't quite sure about this collaboration, Marie accepted and they recorded their first song together in 1986, titled Never-Ending Love. Into a fire, flowing with fine line, the never-ending love, which would be included on Roxette's first album, Pearls of Passion. The album sold about 300,000 copies in Sweden, but went unnoticed abroad due to lack of promotion. Interesting fact, the name Roxette was chosen from a homonymous song from the British band Dr. Feelgood's 1974, one of Per Gessle's favorites. What do you think of the choice of the name Roxette for the band? Did you like it? Comment below. And if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to receive new videos. In 1987, Marie released her third solo album, which reached #1 on the Swedish charts and won the award for Best Swedish Album of the Year. International success would come with Roxette's second album, Look Sharp, released on October 21, 1988. The album, a mix of pop and rock, entered the top of the Swedish charts and highlighted songs like The Look, Dressed for Success, Listen to Your Heart, and Dangerous. In 1989, the single The Look became a huge success and reached the #1 spot on the radio charts in the United States, being the first song by a Scandinavian artist to reach such a position since the Norwegian group a-ha did it with Take On Me in 1985. Shortly after, Listen to Your Heart became the second song by Roxette to reach the top of the charts in North America. In addition, The Look also reached the #1 spot in 30 other countries, cementing its place as one of the most successful songs of the 80s. Due to the great popularity achieved in the United States, the record label EMI proposed to Roxette the creation of a song to be featured on the soundtrack of a film that would feature the legendary actor Richard Gere and the then unknown actress Julia Roberts. Composer Per Gessle said they already had a great ballad ready to be used in the movie. Originally a Christmas song written in 1987 for a record label in Germany, the song had a beautiful piano and enchanting melodies, as well as a great modulation that only Marie could control. Titled I Must Have Been Love, the song did not please the executives and was never released. However, the song enchanted EMI representatives, and when the movie Pretty Woman was released in 1990, the movie's soundtrack became one of the most memorable in the history of cinema, being a worldwide success due to the chemistry between the actors and the original plot. On March 28, 1991, they released their third album, titled Joyride, which also achieved great success and quickly the song Joyride reached the top of the list in the US and a dozen other countries. Over time, this album would sell over 12 million copies, become one of the most iconic albums of the 90s, and enter the list of the 100 best-selling albums of all time. The song Joyride was awarded by MTV as the best music video of the year, and some other successful songs from this work would be Fading Like a Flower, Spending My Time, and The Big L. At this point, Roxette was performing a successful tour of Latin America, enjoying their incredible fame. In just 3 years of international success, they had already sold 30 million records, had reached the #1 on Billboard 4 times and toured the world with their tours. Not forgetting, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next videos. There's an incredible playlist, I'm sure you'll like it too. In 1992, they released the album Tourism, the fourth of their career. The work includes live songs recorded during the First World Tour, in which they visited 4 continents and gave 107 concerts to an audience of 1,700,000 people in 1993. There was the release of the song Almost Unreal, which was part of the soundtrack for the movie Super Mario Bros. Despite the film being a box office flop, the song was very well received and reached the top of the charts in the UK. On April 29, 1993, Marie gave birth to her first daughter, who was named after her mother, Inez Josephine. The child's father is the Swedish musician Michael Bolio's, who is 1 year younger than the singer. Marie stated that if she had not met Michael in the early 1990s, Roxette would not have been able to continue for much longer, as depression and other fame-related problems led her into a downward spiral of alcohol abuse, and only with Michael by her side was she able to stabilize. Also in 1993, Roxette continued to make history by recording a special for MTV in Stockholm, becoming the first non-Anglo-Saxon band to record a show for the prestigious network. In 1994, Roxette's 5th album, Crash, Boom, Bang, was released. This album marked a radical change in the group's music style, which became rougher and oriented towards psychedelic rock. The most well-received song from this work was Sleeping in My Car. Michael and Marie were married on May 21, 1994 in an intimate ceremony with only their closest family members present. At the time, they did not invite their musical partner Per Gessle and his wife Asa Nordin, which left them surprised and disappointed. Marie admitted in her autobiography that both of them felt excluded, but at the time she was focused on having a private wedding, which was most important to her at that moment. At the end of 1994, Roxette began their second international tour, with nearly 100 shows in Europe, Asia, Oceania, Africa, and South America. They also visited China, becoming the second Western band to do so after Wuhan 10 years earlier. In 1996, they released the album Baladas en Español, which featured 12 of their most successful songs sung in Spanish. Marie received praise for her good pronunciation, and the album sold more than 1 million copies, receiving platinum records in Spain, Argentina, and Chile, and gold records in other countries such as Venezuela, Colombia, Mexico, Costa Rica, and Sweden. The adaptations of the songs into Spanish were made by the famous lyricist Luis Gómez Escolar, responsible for successes by artists such as Miguel Bos, Diego, and Sergio Dalma. Some of the most popular songs included Un día sin ti, No sé si es amor, Soy una mujer tímida, and Habla el corazón. On November 26, 1996, the couple's second child, Oscar Michael Bolio's, was born. In 1998, Marie's mother, Inez, who had been suffering from Parkinson's since the age of 48, passed away, plunging the singer into a deep depression. In the early 2000s, Marie confessed to her closest relatives that she had started forgetting the lyrics to her songs. In 2002, bad news began to emerge for Marie when she fainted at home and, in the fall, fractured her skull. After a series of medical tests, a brain tumor was diagnosed and she was informed that there were some treatment options, but her chance of survival was only 25% and she probably had only 1 more year to live. The singer underwent surgery to remove the tumor immediately, followed by sessions of chemotherapy and radiation therapy. The aggressive treatments caused Marie to lose vision in one eye, part of her hearing, and limited her mobility for a long period of time. In 2003, King Carlos Gustavo of Sweden awarded Roxette the prize for Best Musical Band in Sweden since the worldwide success of ABBA. Since learning of the diagnosis, Marie's husband, Michael, returned and redirected his musical career to work almost exclusively with his wife and support her unconditionally. 2004, as part of her cancer therapy, Marie released, along with her husband, the album The Change, and revealed that the disease had not disappeared, although it had been announced that she was cancer-free. Therefore, she had to continue her treatment, but the high doses of radiation damaged her brain to the point of making her forget how to speak, read, or walk, and she suffered from extremely intense pain. Despite the serious sequelae of the disease, Marie fought until the end and never stopped working, releasing solo albums as well as with the Roxette band. In her last performances, she appeared sitting and supported by an elegant cane, but she never lost her beautiful smile. Her last performance was in Cape Town, South Africa, on February 8, 2016. In 2019, a few months before her death, the tireless Marie published her autobiography entitled Listen to My Heart, which is also available in Spanish, published by Planeta. Gun-Marie Fredriksson passed away on December 9, 2019, at the age of 61. Her life partner, Per Gessle, upon learning of the death of his colleague, friend, and companion, wrote on his social media,
"Time passes so quickly. It wasn't so long ago that we spent days and nights in my small apartment, sharing impossible dreams. I feel honored to have known your talent and generosity. All my love goes to you and your family. Things will never be the same. Goodbye, friend."